Welcome once again to Saturday Night Hype, and we are just 2 weeks away from Autumn Asylum. One more Saturday Night Hype before the 3-match pre-show, and it is a 1-on-2 match. Pepsiman versus the other Rangers, the Blue and the Green Ranger. I am the Colonist. This is going to be an interesting matchup we've got here tonight. Pepsiman taking on two men. And nothing really predicated this match. It wasn't any major hype. Just Pepsiman wanted some action. The other Rangers really are trying to get a win any way they can. And I promised you last week, and this is my version of no why. Please don't sue me, PewDiePie. And I told you that I was going to bring to you the names of the Blue and the Green Ranger, and I have them. And it is the Blue Ranger is Skylar, and the Green Ranger is Bridge. So Bridge and Skylar, the Sky Bridge, are going to take on Pepsiman, and we can only hope that that Pepsi truck will not go over the Sky Bridge and mow over them the way that they were mowed over by the Shades of Black. But these two, they've got some momentum. By proxy of the other two Rangers, Lizzie and Sydney, who last week emerged victorious against the Natalie World Order, which I did not expect whatsoever, but they swept in pretty convincing fashion, I might add. And now the other Rangers may have feel like they can bring it home. And could you imagine if the Rangers, the SPD Rangers, sweep here tonight? You know, we can no longer call them the other Rangers because they are, in fact, the Rangers. The fact that 4 out of 5 of them, and you know, it makes me wonder, what does the Red Ranger think about all of this? And is he still, in fact, Cthulhu Squirrel? Even if he's SPD, well, ladies and gentlemen, we will find out. This is going to be a hell of a matchup. New referee here tonight. Very excited to bring to you Will Sasso, who is a man I found recently. He used to be on Mad TV all the time, which I did not watch a ton of, but I've been loving his Jesse Ventura impression on YouTube. I urge you to go find it. It is quite the listen. It's uncanny. It is genuinely uncanny. It sounds like the exact same dude, and it just cracks me up. And we gave him a call, I said, Corleone, can we get him? Corleone said, I can get anybody, bitch. I said, you don't need to say that. You know, I'm just asking. He's like, I do what I want to do. And come on, don't tell me that. And then the call ended. He made a phone call, and here's Will Sasso. So thank you very much for coming on board, Will. We appreciate you doing a little officiating for us. And right now, the Green Ranger and Pepsiman, who, you know, you got to admire Pepsiman for taking on and deciding to take on the two Rangers at once in this handicap match. He really has been focused a lot on his TAWTF pursuits in the TAWTF title that, of course, he won an opportunity for earlier, several weeks ago. And at the time that this airs, he's probably already fought for it. I don't remember what happened, to be honest with you, but it's happened, folks. And TAW, and please subscribe to TAW, by the way, our great friend Josh. Again, we've had tussles and bustles in the past, but you know, it's not like we've ever come to physical blows. You know what I mean? We've never actually fought each other. We've never gotten into fisticuffs, you know, ever in the history of us doing our thing. You know, thankfully it was just, you know, those 12 good matches that we had against each other as far as our roster was concerned. And the Green Ranger kicked Pepsiman. Pepsiman took offense to it, and Green Ranger tried to leave the ring. But the Blue Ranger is legal, and a big suplex right onto Bridge. And he better hope that his back doesn't look like a curved bridge when this is all over after taking multiple suplexes there from Pepsiman. Pepsiman, who has beaten Wario on 2 occasions in their ever long-standing, 3 occasions if you count the triple threat match they had with John Cena, who I heard was in the match. I couldn't see him, but I heard he was in the match. And the Blue Ranger now back in, and the key to victory here for these two, as far as Bridge and Sky goes, they're going to have to really start isolating those legs, and you can't go after the head too much. You got to isolate the legs and realize, oh, what a back suplex. Because the less chance you give to get that Pepsi plunge off, the better chance you have of actually taking care of business and beating Pepsiman, who has really been on something of a roll. His momentum's come in waves, but the people have really loved the man of the Nation of Carbonation. And they've really gotten behind him in a way that we did not expect when Pepsiman first made his debut on TAWTF programming. But speaking of CIW programming, another vertical suplex. And he is really after those textbook vertical suplexes. We are going to have some amazing matchups next week. The pre-show for Autumn Asylum, which is, of course, as we've mentioned, the 29th and 30th of September and the 1st of October. And speaking of, one of the big matches, of course, we've talked about Kratos and Shiva, the World's Championship match. We've talked about Noob Saba versus Aquaman. We've got Tenacious E versus Chrono Cross on Autumn Asylum. That is going to be a major tag match after the father-son team of Jack Black and Eclipse have brawled consistently with Magus and Chrono. It is finally coming to, oh, yeah, just like that. With a right hand, big right hand was Pepsiman, who's now isolating Skylar. Or Sky. It is Skylar, technically, but with a whole mess more letters than our good friend Skylar Greenberg. And now double attempts to break up that submission went unsuccessful, but a nice knife edge chop and a drop kick from Bridge, who's doing everything he can to make his impact. You know, as many double team moves as these two have to do, they should do, and oh no. And Skylar went to suplex. Pepsiman, and it was not as successful as Pepsiman suplexes have been. He says, no, only me. Oh, what a spike pile driver. And this is not an elimination match. It is one fall to a finish here, no matter who it is. And, of course, next week, as I mentioned, we've got A-Bizzle versus Aquaman. We've got Salt and Pepper versus Grime Time, which is Captain Pollution and Dr. Dirty versus Eminem and Dave Chappelle. That's going to be great. Nice backbreaker there from the Blue Ranger. In comes Bridge. And now is the time, and Will Sasso, and Pepsiman not phased. A spear and some great right hands as Pepsiman leads the charge. And wow, the Green Ranger couldn't even get out of the gate, and Pepsiman was right on him. And this is a man who, you know, he's probably not loving the fact that he's on a pre-show, but he's making it evident that he is still on top of his game. But a nice hip toss there from Bridge. And another matchup, we've got Ken Masters, of course, relegated to the pre-show. And on the pre-show, he shall be one-on-one with Sephiroth in a major matchup, a first-ever matchup on CIW. And who knows how that match is going to go down. In comes Sky. And now is the time. Let's get some double-team moves in if they're smart. And there we go. Double drop kick. Down goes Pepsiman. And Sky and Bridge starting to build a little momentum here. And that's what they need to do. They need to keep Pepsiman down. Use some double team moves. They've got to make frequent tags, which they've been doing. But Pepsiman, every move Pepsiman does is devastating. You know, they're very fast. They've got the speed advantage to the other Rangers. But Pepsiman with that power advantage and that DDT. And now with a right hand, a counter. Referee Will Sasso doing a good job of really staying in the mix here, trying to make sure the referee or the Rangers are, you know, making sure one's getting out of the ring in relatively prompt order. Wait a second here. Oh, what a powerbomb pin! 2 and 3! Wow, and the Green Ranger unable to break it up. A powerbomb pin. What a statement-making victory here from Pepsiman. As we are just 1 week away from the Autumn Asylum pre-show, we are 2 weeks away from Autumn Asylum, the 3-day extravaganza. Tons of matches, all on the docket. What amazing action here. The other Rangers tried, but it just wasn't enough. Pepsiman, your victor. Thank you all for coming to Saturday night. Hype, and we will see you next week for the Autumn Asylum pre-show. Take care, everybody.